Hello, friends. Miss Natalie here, and today I am going to show you how to create the illuminated calligraphy drawing. I'm working in Krita, but you can also work physically with a piece of paper and a pencil. I'm starting with a piece of quote unquote paper that is 8 inches by 10 inches, and I am going to draw a letter on the page. This is kind of my sketch. I'm working in a light gray. If you are working uh, with physical media, you want to make sure that you do this first part very, very lightly because you're going to erase it. So I'm going to work as big as I can, and I'm going to fill the whole paper with a single capital letter. I'm going to do an S. This isn't the best, but it's okay because this is just my sketch. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to draw a big block line around that letter, trying to make it as big as I possibly can. All right, let's see. It kind of touches the bottom, but that's okay. And then I'm going to choose the eraser and I'm going to, there we go, erase that line that's inside. I'm going to try to do this without layers so that it will be the same kind of work, whether you are doing this digitally or physically. My lights would definitely be not quite so squiggly if I was doing this physically. I'm not as steady with my digital brushes that I am with an actual pencil. But here we go. We've got our letter, and we're going to work inside and outside to decorate this space. So I am now going to start with some shapes. I'm going to do shapes inside the letter to move my eye around and lines outside my letter. So let's do first thing I'm going to do, I think, and I'm still working in gray because I'm working as if I had a pencil. So I'm going to do a line, make another shape inside the shape of the letter. Ugh, this is so squiggly, but that's all right. It's okay. Um, okay, and now I am going to make, gosh, my favorite shapes are circles and triangles. So I think I'm going to make some triangles by making X's and then lines. That's kind of easy and fun. And if you want, you can literally copy every single thing I am doing, or you can use this as an inspiration to fill in your own design. It's really up to you. Those are some twisty triangles, but I do not care because I'm just enjoying myself making triangles in this way. All right. Make some little ones. Kind of even want to do it that way where I separate it first and then make the X. I don't know. Actually, I think working and making the triangles first and then separating them is probably better. And I think honestly, I should have worked with a smaller paintbrush so that it looked more like the uh, pencil that you will be using if you're doing this physically. And if you're doing this digitally, you can use any brush that you want. I'm actually using this paintbrush right here. And as you can see, it's size 40, and I'm just going to work in a single paint layer. I'm not going to switch up layers because I want to make this very much similar to what I would do if I was working with paper and pencil. Oh, let's make this one really big at the end. All right, so I've got my shapes that definitely lead my eye through. Um, and now I'm going to do some lines that are outside. And for some reason, I just like the idea of having the lines of the S connect to itself. So I'm going to do some lines that connect, just a series of lines that connect. And I'm doing things that are more geometric. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Something that's more geometric than the artwork that we've seen in the Book of Kells. Those are all pretty organic lines and shapes that they're working with. Can make it a little bit more organic. Um, and curve it out here. No, I'm going to erase that. Okay. And then what am we going to do with the inside? I kind of want to just continue this shape here and this shape there and do some more lines and even more lines. And I'm going to erase that line because I don't like it. And again, you can copy this exactly if you want, or you can just use this as an inspiration for your drawing. I think I'm even going to do lines on the corner that will pull your eye around. Again, it's all about movement and making patterns. Um, right now, my patterns of lines are not very exciting, but I'm going to add color to them yeah, I think I'm going to do this. Lots of lines, and I'm going to add color to them to make the pattern stand out more. All right, I've got my pencil lines now, and I'm going to fill in with my colored pencils, if you will. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to choose a cool color palette. So I'm going to work in blues and purples and maybe greens. So let's choose this color, and I'm going to use some pretty bright colors because I think they're kind of gorgeous.
And this is the portion of the video that's super speeded up, so you don't have to watch me color this whole thing in real time, because let me tell you, it took a while. I was slow, but I'm starting with that darkest blue, which is very lovely, and I am for some reason deciding to use the freehand brush tool the entire time instead of just doing an outline and filling it in. Later, I realized that that's what I should be doing. And then I'm just adding not a gradient, because I'm actually going around the color wheel. So I'm getting more and more green with each color I choose. I'm basically moving from the blue violet to the blue green. And I've decided to use a even greener two colors on the inside of my letter, trying to figure out the best way to do that, and using all sorts of techniques, both freehand brush and then trying to fill in with the fill tool. I at some point here, yes, I realized that I just got way too small with those triangles, and so I need to go back and make them a bit bigger. And I'm just filling in the triangles, and hopping back between two different colors back and forth, and then realizing I really need to go back to the technique that I usually do, whether it's digital or physical art, which is just focus on one color and add that, especially if I'm working with markers or colored pencils. Not so much with paint, because usually if I'm using paint, I'm going to do some mixing. In any time I'm doing sort of a color blocking thing where I'm just adding colors, I try to use all of one color in every location I would have so that I can see where it is. Sometimes I'll go back with other colors. All right, now I'm doing these lines that are outside of the S, and I'm again going around the color wheel. I'm starting with the more green, moving to the blue violet, and then moving back to the green. And now I'm using a um, closer range of colors on my color wheel in that blue violety kind of area, and I'm filling in all those colors, realizing I want more. Also, this is kind of a mess, so I'm going back, I'm cleaning up my edges. This is kind of if you were painting and you had some mistakes that you had to go and cover up. Decided to add some dots of a green inside that blue violet. I really like that. Oh, and now I've decided that I really want to outline my letter. Um, and I look at this and I think how shaky my line work is, and that's just who I am. I do not have a super steady hand. I'm not one of those people who could draw clean and smooth lines without some sort of assistance. And that's okay. That's just my art style. So I decided to go with a black uh, Sharpie. Haha, if you were doing this, you could use a black Sharpie to do the outlining. You could outline every single shape that you created and uh, out every single quote unquote line that you created. Um, or you can just outline some of the parts of it. Again, if you're working physically, you're going to be doing this with markers or colored pencils or Sharpies. And you're going to be doing it the way that you want to do. Um, and I'm just struggling, y'all. But, that happens. Sometimes you struggle with things. I feel like this would be a bit neater if I was working with physical media, but that's okay. So I'm going to save my work. Make sure you always save your digital work and save it as a JPEG if you're doing this digitally. And yeah, make some art, y'all.